So let's see. Trisha may join quietly, and Albina is out, and Helen is out. Everybody's dealing with some kind of health thing. So I figured maybe part of what we could do is send some healing to everybody. And and then we had Tristan, who isn't going to be joining because of a conflict. So this might be our group today. Let me see.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, hello.
One of the things that I wanted to ask everyone is to send me a question, before we've done. Oh, here's Trisha. Let me just get her in the room. Hey, Trisha, I know you're on mute and camera off and listening, and I hope you're feeling better. We were just talking about the crazy links, and I'll send another email that says save this email with the Zoom link, and then people can look for their search for the save, the word save in their email. Um, because when I put it into the calendar tool, it keeps modifying the link. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and then sometimes people don't use the calendar. So um, anyway,
That's where I looked and I couldn't find it. So, yeah.
yeah, I didn't put it in in October's because
Okay.
so yeah, and that was so I sent an email instead. But anyway,
Yeah, I didn't get, or I probably got the email and didn't even look at it. So,
that's all right. That's all right.
yeah, massive
Here.
headache today. So I'm like, oh,
Well, I'm glad you can make it in the shape that you're in, and you're not the only one. There's a couple of others who are also out for health things. So I figure part of what we can do today is send some Reiki to everybody.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm really glad to see you. So I'm glad that everybody could make it that can make it. And others are here in us with us in spirit, I know for sure. Um, because I'm at a point where I'd love to think about more topics to alternate with our in our meetings. And the last time I had a thread on our forum that just people could chime in, or they sent me an email, I think, with their ideas of topics that they'd like to hear about that are healing related or really the box is pretty wide open at this point. It could be anything that you find informs reality for you in some way, that informs reality for you in some way because that is germane to our Reiki healing. And so you can either send me a topic that you are really curious about. You can send me a topic that you are actually wanting to share about because you all have your own areas of expertise. Like George could do a whole thing, I'm sure, about pain, which would be really great for us one day. Um, so not to put anybody on the spot, but it's an open invitation. Just tell me that you're willing to talk and I will put you on the schedule. Or you can send me just a question, maybe something that you find yourself pondering or um, something's come up in your sessions. Probably we cover a lot of those in our just sharing, but maybe you have a bigger kind of a question that requires more of a deep dive into some area. So I'm also thinking about things that I find interesting right now. One of the things that I thought I could talk about at some point, if people are interested, is how I how I hold my spiritual practice, Course in Miracles or non-duality, with my Reiki work, and see, and also I would have to talk about Infinite Way, and those are the Course in Miracles and Joel Goldsmith's Infinite Way are very parallel in some ways, and I could just kind of give an update on um, how the spiritual work influences my Reiki work. So that was one thought I had because I think about that a lot. But anything that you are interested in, some of the topics that we've covered in the past have been quantum physics and kind of looking at the main ideas in quantum physics and how they inform our Reiki practice. A little bit about the history we covered as well of the development of it. And then we've done things on how to think about psychic phenomenon in Reiki healings. That wasn't too long ago that we did that. And now I'm forgetting all the other ones we've done. Maybe you guys remember them. Anyway, go back to my list. But let me know what you would like to spend time on together as a group. Send me an email or text me, whichever you prefer. Or just blurt it out in our share today. So I'm going to put a calendar together so that we kind of have a schedule of what we're going to do. Well, why don't we just open it up to, actually, first, why don't we center? Why don't we, I think this is our group today, so why don't we kind of go into our Reiki state of mind and just rest. Invite our Reiki presence and honor ourselves for making it today, and honor those that couldn't make it today but will certainly be in our thoughts today, and will be joining maybe as on the replay, honoring our whole group, which is one of many, 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 many groups around the world, I'm sure. And we're in part of some great orchestration. Part of a very sacred time. You could think of it that way. I think that would be accurate. For many of us, there is an awakening occurring, and we're part of it. We are receiving it, and we are part of its coming at the same time. We thank all the angels who are surrounding us and helping guide us and helping us navigate our thoughts. And there's like a fear soup that we might find ourselves in, the collective. It's an impersonal soup. It's not one's particular soup, but it does feel personal when we are hooked by it. And so these angels help us to navigate and to not get hooked by it. So we thank them. And we thank all the teachers, and we invite them to come close as we join today. And we open to their wisdom, and we step back so that we can receive. And we know they come in love and lightness and gentleness, and actually quite a bit of laughter. And we thank them. And we can each hold an intention in our heart today, if you'd like. And it can be personal, it can be global or beyond, for the healing that we would like to see manifest. And we can know that this light is empowering those requests. And if you feel that you could use it, just allow a shower of this love to cleanse your field, to recharge you, to brighten up all the colors around you, to give you some release or some peace in a place that might be feeling a little dense or tight. Imagine us in a big circle of these loving teachers and angels and Reiki guides and I often feel when I tune in this way, they're having a party. Like they're celebrating us, like we're so close to being where they are, and they're so certain of our success, they're already popping the champagne corks. So we can rest in their certainty. And I feel like their message for me and for the group who feel it is that really this is a time of resting in their wisdom and their love and their light. And the doing isn't all that important. It's more of the resting, the trusting and the allowing, not so much the doing and fixing and problem solving. So I will sink into that and invite you to do the same. Today, this week, I've been very moved by the idea that what we're doing with Reiki healing is we are changing consciousness. And yes, it looks like we are helping to relieve symptoms that people and their animals are coming to us for. And that's valid, but the deeper meaning of what is happening is a shift in consciousness. And it starts with our own shift in consciousness. So that's why we always, in this group anyway, harp on staying in our lane and being our own best student first, as I let Reiki and all the spiritual wisdom unfold in me, then I'm that consciousness, I'm that catalyst for the consciousness in someone else to blossom. So look for this in your clients, in your friends, in the people that you work with. Just notice how they may come back after a session and be smarter, wiser, softer, or maybe a few sessions. Everyone is progressing in their own way, at their own speed. But know that if they came to you, and if your purpose is very focused for you, then they're asking at a level that they're not even aware of for this shift, for this catalyst. And you're not doing it. You're just allowing it to happen by the fact that you're in it yourself. You're sharing and giving what you would have. And that's a Course in Miracles lesson. to have, give all to all. So as you are giving, 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 not as a martyr or in any sacrificial way, but just out of joy, letting the gift flow as it's being requested. And sometimes that looks like being quiet because it's not being openly received. However, that gift is being expressed, that's how you're also receiving. It's actually a one thing, but our minds are linear. They're part of a magic trick of time and space. And so we have to think of it as a one thing leading to the next thing. But it's not, it's a whole thing. Giving and receiving are the same. And that's the interesting thing about everything going on. It's becoming more and more of quantum and this idea of oneness and wholeness, which language and structured thinking has a very difficult time with expressing. But it's beyond the words and thoughts, it's in the heart space. So let's all sink deeper into the heart space right now. And maybe that's a good way to end this little prayer and centering exercise, is that we want to remember from here the free way, the fast way, the simple way, the joyful way is through the heart. And if we're finding ourselves heavy or fearful, are we in the head? Can we drop quickly down into the heart? The heart is the path forward. And it's where the deeper wisdom will be received and expressed. The mind can never do it. So we thank you for being here. I'd love to hear what everybody has to share, and then we'll do some healing work. I would love to have time for breakouts today with whoever's left. So we'll see how the day unfolds. And I'll say, Amen. Hallelujah.
And so it is.
So it is. Let it be written, let it be done. Oh, that's Moses. Never mind.
Make it so.
Ah, thanks, Laura.
Well, anyone who wants to chime in with anything, the floor is open.
I don't have a lot. Just kind of hanging out here in Montana and still loving it.
Yeah.
Lots of visitors for the last probably 3 months. And it's been wonderful. So I suppose now that we're getting closer to winter, there won't be so many visitors. But y'all are welcome.
Are you new to Montana? I don't know you, so
Yeah, I moved here from well, I've been around the country quite a bit, but I moved here in February of this
oh,
year, on the day that it snowed 6 inches during the move-in time. So it was
perfect.
welcome to Montana. It was great. But I lived in Reno for a decade,
Oh,
and worked with Laura's husband for a while. So
oh,
that's
okay.
how
Nice.
we got connected. Yeah.
Hmm. Thanks for sharing that.
And Becky, you want to come to the next animal Reiki class.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so that'll be great. George is going to be part of that.
Good.
And another person who just reached out of nowhere, I haven't met her yet, but she's going to take Holy Fire 1 and 2 on Friday and Saturday this coming week so that she can take the next animal Reiki class. And her name is Liz. And then maybe one of our new students from last class. I haven't heard back from him for sure, but yeah, so I think it'll be a great class. And if there's anyone else who would like to join, you're welcome to. Just let me know.
Am I eligible for that?
Well, yeah, if so, the way it works is anyone who's taken a class with me already
Uh-huh.
can always audit that same class as many times as they want. But if you wanted to sign up as a student, you could do that too.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I'll send you the link to register. That's kind of an official step I make everybody do because that's when the class starts for you.
Mm.
You actually, people will very frequently start having things getting them ready. And sometimes people
Yeah.
reached out and said, "Are you sending Reiki to me right now?" And I'll say, "No, but you're signed up for the class, so I think Reiki is sending Reiki to you right now." And animal Reiki, just if you haven't heard me pontificate about it, I find it so much more than animal Reiki. It really changed me. So I recommend it for anyone just because of the energy and the way it really opened me to feeling a deeper sense of connection with all the living animals and just everything that is living. It almost felt like cosmic Reiki to me. So, so yes, I'm always excited when people want to take animal Reiki. And of course, there is a lot about practicing with animals and their caregivers. That's the language we use. And I've had some really amazing experiences. I did have one, if you want me to share about a really interesting session this week, animal Reiki session,
Cool.
I can do that. This guy reached out. It happens to be a brother of the student that will be part of the Reiki, animal Reiki class, so that I've never met yet. And he is from Jacksonville, Florida, or he lives close to Jacksonville, Florida. Have never met him, haven't met her. And he's a pretty young guy. He looked like he was maybe 30 or so. And he has a dog with a neurological issue that just a few weeks ago he stopped being able to walk.
Mm.
And uh, what was so fascinating about this session was, well, first of all, this dog really, I could feel, took a lot of energy. And sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes animals will take Reiki for like 20 minutes and then they feel like, okay, I'm good. You know, they're very efficient. So that was just one thing. This dog seemed so content. I didn't get a lot of messages from this dog other than before I plugged in or turned on Zoom. Sorry, my Reiki brain and talking are not always, they don't always go together. But um, I tuned in as I always do, and I heard the dog say very clearly, he needs help. And that's not uncommon, that it's clear from the animal's perspective, they are here to help the caregiver, the human. But that's all the dog would say. And the dog's name is Thor, by the way. So that's all Thor had to say. And so I met this man, and he was sweet. I don't think he was particularly spiritual. He doesn't know anything about Reiki. He just has a dog that he has had for 14 years, and that means it's probably been at least half of his life and means the world to him. and he trusts his big sister. That's what he said. So that must be the woman who's coming to the class. So sweet guy. And the whole time the camera was pointed at Thor. Thor is just on one of those big dog pillow things. I don't know what kind of dog, big black dog. I found out he's 14, so, he's getting a little older. And I didn't get any really clear messages about anything going on with Thor, other than he received in this Reiki for quite a long time. And then one of the other dogs just so clearly wanted to participate and came up behind Thor and just stood there and was so clearly watching the energy at different points and would not leave. And I had this little thought in my mind about our ethics, because one of the things in Reiki for animals is we never will give Reiki to an animal without the caregiver's permission. No matter what's going on, that's like a sacred relationship that we don't interfere with unless we've been given permission. And so I'm thinking, well, I haven't been given the permission to send Reiki to this dog, but I'm not. This dog is just jumping into the Reiki zone. And the caregiver's right here. So I'm just going to trust. And, I just had kind of that little thought in my mind, which I think we should have those little thoughts come in and make sure that we're, clear on what's happening. So that was interesting. And then I could feel the caregiver, and was definitely sending Reiki to him, and a great deal to his heart at the end. So much to his heart. And I saw a cement wall, and I had to know that the cement wall was an illusion. So that might be a way that I could, practice my Course in Miracles, and that I could go directly to this heart as it was allowed, as it was welcome, and that there was a, open heart in there. And so we got done, and I asked, let's see, I shared with him what I felt from the dog. I said, I don't think Thor is in any pain. Actually, all I could tell that his thoughts were on was like chasing a ball. That's all I saw. It was like, yeah, I can't chase a ball in real life, so I'm chasing a ball in my head. That's kind of what it felt like. Really not dramatic at all. I had no sense of pain. I had no sense of annoyance or frustration. I had a great sense of this dog love between those two dogs, the one that was behind him. And that was pretty much it for the dog. And then I said, he said, well, he does look like he was moving around a lot more than usual. So he wasn't walking, but he was kind of looking up and doing this and moving around. It was clear that he was aware of the energy. And then we laughed about the other dog. I forget the other dog's name. It was a very pretty blonde colored dog, where Thor was black. So the blonde dog, he said, oh, she just really wanted to be in here. And my girlfriend let her back in, and she came racing back over here. She was dying to get into the zone. And I said, well, that was my sense too, that there was something going on there. So then I said, how do you feel? And he said, I feel lighter. And I thought, okay, that's kind of an invitation of some kind. I said, I forget what else he said. It just felt like there was an opening for me, because what I perceived, and I had to be really careful how I said it. And I said, in no way would I ever want you to think I'm suggesting that you caused anything having to do with Thor. But sometimes what I've noticed is there's a weird quantum mirroring going on. And I said, is it possible that there are steps in your life that are big? You're entering a new chapter and you're afraid to take your steps. Because what I was feeling was the dog that couldn't take steps was somehow mirroring something about this caregiver. And he said, yeah, like everything in my life is changing. And he rattled off three things. And the last one was, I'm supposed to get married in 23 days, and my fiance and I are not having, we're having communication problems. And then he said, and I feel like I'm very closed down or guarded or something like that. And I was like, oh, there's that wall. And I said, oh, yeah. And it just came out. I'm not giving advice. I'm not a counselor and I'm all that. But I just said, oh, yeah, I feel like this is your trajectory. Just take your steps. And you're right. I said, I saw the fortress. These steps are going to help you undo this. And I said, you have a very powerful heart and you're protecting it. And so, this is your way. And I said, you're not alone. So don't feel that you are. You're being supported. And the big thing that I felt he needed to know was there's a story in the Bible about, and I don't know it. Trisha can tell me who it is. But anyway, don't look back or you'll turn into a pillar of salt. It's kind of this idea of forward. Don't reflect back. That's how the ego gets you. And so he was very receptive to all of that. And he was a very quiet guy. Like I said, probably would never have ever uh, opened the door to a Reiki session had it not been for Thor. So anyway, that was my story. Yeah, I found it pretty interesting, but the mirroring thing I have seen before. So it's not all the time. And do I absolutely know that's true? No, but it was something that I saw. And that's the thing I think that's becoming more and more apparent for me is, and it should also, as you use Reiki, it's not me, it's just this consciousness that's coming through. As you use Reiki more and more, and you are, you know, fully in your, to the degree we can, because we're imperfect, but we're focused on some kind of North Star. That's our purpose. We're opening into this deeper wisdom, and so you may get, so like I have been saying more and more with classes, this isn't the end of the class when you go home. This is the beginning of you in class. This was just, the first day of school. You got your textbooks, you were introduced to your teacher, you got the syllabus, and now school's really going to start for you. So you have to be out there opening your textbooks and working with your teacher for that to actually unfold. And as it does, what I feel is that our mind is opening into that omniscience, and that omnipresence. And so we just, for me, it shows up as claircognizance, where I just know. I don't want to say that from a mental place, because it's not mental. And it's also always just on offer, because you know, it may need to unfold even more than it has at the time that I know it for the other person. But you'll begin to have a certainty, because you'll see the effects of it over and over and over. So anyway, that's me trying to explain what's going on here.
I think that's amazing, just to hear you talk about that session. And I remember I mentioned a while back about a research study that I had seen about animals taking on their humans' symptoms, conditions. I'll be darned if I can find it.
That is cool.
So I need to, get back on the search. It's out there. I read it. Um, I don't know where it is.
Wow, I would love to see that, because I have seen this before. And it's not that I'm puzzling it out. And that is maybe something that you could take as a teaching. I'm not puzzling it out. Please don't analyze. That's absolutely not what's happening. But if you get a color, like Becky gets so many colors, or if you get a picture or you get a word or you get a smell or you get something, you sit, what I do is I just, I know it didn't come from me thinking in a thought stream. I'm not puzzling it out because I have no thought. I'm feeling the energy. And that's the great thing about Reiki is that it gives our mind something to be focused on because we can feel the feeling of it, maybe, or however you experience the flow. So we know that something comes in there is coming in as information that isn't coming out of our puzzler, So then you let it inform you is kind of a way to say it. So and then it'll ping in my mind like, step, like I'll hear step or, and then maybe my vision will flash to the guy, or it'll be something like that. It's all, like I say so many times, it's like a Polaroid starts to come into
Hmm.
to focus and it's a blob here and a blob there and a blob there. And eventually I get the gestalt of it, and someone's afraid to take a step, something like that.
Yeah, this makes me think like everything's a mirror.
Yes.
And when you saw the mirror of the cement wall around the dog's heart, it was reflecting
Well,
in
it was around the guy's heart, the caregiver's heart.
oh, it was around the guy's heart.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
It was when I switched to him.
there's a fabulous book I was introduced to, and it was about a heart wall. There's a heart wall. I'll think of who that book. It was very eye-opening for me.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Yeah.
And you know who else talks about the fortress around the heart is, and Helen will be listening in later, but Dr. David Clements, who's the Oxford trained physicist who I keep sharing interviews with him because he's so fascinating. Please check him out if you haven't, just because you hear me harping about him all the time. He is one of the most beautiful souls. You can feel his energy. He was classically trained at Oxford and he was supposed to be a theoretical physicist studying string theory. And he got into working with the Arcturians and the Pleiadians and living energetics. And he's not a crackpot at all. He got in through studying the work and meeting Tom Bearden, who'd been working on all kinds of devices from Tesla and who was part of the military. And, anyway, there's a whole backstory that really is solid for how this guy has become who and what he is and how his work has evolved. And the Arcturians are talking about this fortress, that's what they call it, that we can't operate from here so easily because of the fortress in the heart, around the heart. And yet, this is actually where higher consciousness will be understood. So it's essential that we all clear our hearts and the fortress, they call it. So any work we're doing spiritually is clearing that. And he had to learn as a mathematician and a physicist how to get out of his head. So he he said it was really hard. He's been doing this for now. I think he started in the early 2000s. So let's say 20 years. And most of it has been, well, I can't say most, but a lot of it has been working with them to heal. So they've given him healing techniques. So just think of him as a physicist trying to understand um,
Mm.
this higher information that they are giving him about the universe and about devices that they want him to practice building and things. But to do that is requiring that he evolve, and to do that is requiring that he unpack his heart, that he let go of his all his stuff, basically. And so, what does that say about the consciousness we're in? That we can't have free energy and all these things that you hear about until our consciousness can evolve and heal, because we can't receive it, because it can't come through here. You can't put it into a mathematical equation. For one thing, you can't add infinity to infinity. There are concepts that absolutely the mind will never be able to understand. The heart can, though. And so his practice, they'll give him like this, they'd give him this packet of information to unpack, and he'd start processing it and just get so frustrated. And they'd just smile at him and say, okay, well, yeah, you got to get out of your head. You got to go back to here. So I'm harping on it now for us too. That's true about our healing work. We got to get out of here. This is also, by the way, where your armchair quarterback is and your self-doubt and everything else. It harnesses this and starts talking smack to you. Just tell it, look, when I need to, read a recipe or something, I'll let you know, but you're not helpful. But you know what keeps you from telling it that is you think it has something to offer you that you need because you're afraid to allow. So you got to stay in the allowing without knowing. If you back way into the allowing without knowing, then that's where and you have to be willing, like, nothing's going to happen. I'm a fraud. You may hear that voice. Uh, okay, but I'm just going to wait and see because I don't need to be somebody anyway. And I'll give them their money back if they're a paid client. You just play that kind of game with yourself so that you don't fall for it. And then the magic happens because it can't come from this thing. And it might come in the last second. You might be sitting there for 2 hours, or not 2 hours probably, but let's say in my session, maybe it was at the 40th minute out of, an hour that I got the step and the fortress and the heart and all the pieces came together and I realized what the session was about. Maybe it was the 55th minute, you know, but I was backed way up just to trusting Reiki. That's why I say over and over and over, trust Reiki, trust Reiki, trust Reiki.
I had to look it up. It's Bradley Nelson, Emotion Code.
Oh,
And he
yes.
has several other books, but he talks a lot about the heart wall.
You could text that to us in our group if you want.
Okay.
And do you know about the book? Are you
I've read the book several times and I even like printed out, he has this whole like formula that you go through. And I went and did it and it cleared a lot of stuff for me.
I
And then I
want to do a
even
talk in
I
November.
was just gonna say
I
that.
need to review. I need to review. It's been years ago. And then I even was like telling a friend and like you can go and do training for it and become a practitioner. And I had a friend ask me, would you, work with me on it? And I said, well, get the book first and then I'll, let's discuss because I have imposter syndrome and I don't think I have anything to offer, you know. But yeah.
You had imposter syndrome. That was the past.
Ah,
Had it.
yes. Well,
But
I'm
so
bumping up against it again though.
no.
Yeah.
So the only way to make it the past is for you to give us a talk and to show yourself that you're not an imposter.
Okay, I'll do
Okay.
it.
So you can either do it in our next meeting, which would be in 2 weeks, or you can do it in November.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Yep.
Yeah,
you-
I'll need to I need to review that book and
Yeah. And
yeah,
we
and I had
we
printed
are
out a
a
bunch of
totally
stuff and
engrossed audience, and you are going to share something that we absolutely are going to be so blessed by receiving, no matter what you say. So, it
Thank
will,
you.
yeah, it'll be a huge gift, and we can't wait to hear from you.
Thank you.
Plus, you'll be modeling what I've been asking everybody to do for a really long time, and you're the first one.
Oh, it's not like me.
Not that I am sending a message to others.
Uh,
I do have something to share though. If it's time for that.
Sure, and then I see George has something too.
Yeah.
He's raising his hand all politely.
Go
He knows
George.
he knows how to use Zoom better than I do.
Yeah, question, Laura, what was the book, the doctor you were talking about?
Oh, his name is Dr. David Clements. He doesn't have a book, but he has a bunch of interviews, and the most recent one he did with Pam Gregory is in our WhatsApp group. And I posted it yesterday, I think, because he just made it with her a day ago or so. And she has about 4 or 5 of him now. And if you start at the beginning with him, they're wonderful. And he also has a Patreon account that you can sign up for. There's a free part, membership that's free. He has a whole bunch of meditations. It was after one of his meditations that the Arcturians actually came to my session. And I had actually forgotten that I had done 2 weeks prior that I had done one of his meditations. So I could do a talk on what I know about his work. Maybe that would be another, summarize kind of what I know. And maybe Helen will we could do it together because we decided we're groupies and we, we want to go, to all of his events if he ever has any and hang out backstage with him. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris.
Well, it's you kind of triggered it with the
Oh, Becky's saying goodbye. See you
oh,
later.
goodbye,
Have
Becky.
fun. Frolic, frolic.
Um, I was kind of circling around. So I just took a 2 week vacation off work, and then yesterday was my first day back. And some things had changed. They've gotten a new computer supporting program for taking X-rays, and so that was new. And then the scheduling was new, and I got there, and I didn't know that this had occurred while I was gone. So I got there, and I literally felt like I couldn't see anything. Like it felt physical within my eyes, like I couldn't see anything. And it, and I don't have a conclusion to this. It's just like I feel like there's some kind of blockage, like I'm on a precipice of some kind of something that I need to break through. And um
So, like at the office, you mean that was
yeah.
when you were like trying to look around and you couldn't see?
Yeah, like I couldn't see the schedule. I couldn't see the chart. I couldn't see. I felt like I really kind of was there but not there.
Yeah.
It was very disorienting and odd and um yeah, I almost felt like I was in a sort of a different little timeline or something. So I was physically there, but I didn't feel like I was there. And like I'm at home and I can see now. So it's not like, I have an eye emergency or something. It was just very odd. Um,
So,
and
what's
then
your gut
so,
feeling?
huh?
Do you have a gut feeling about what's happening?
Well, on my drive home, so it's an hour. to Aberdeen. I'm working in Aberdeen, which is where Laura and I, used to live together. We're right next door. So I always talk to the angels on my drive home and what do I need to process and what was mirrored to me today. And, you know, it's kind of my healing time. And so I just asked, what am I needing to see? What am I not seeing? There's something I am not seeing, and help me figure it out. I feel like there's a next step I need to take, and it feels like it's something I need, like a um I guess I think we all have potential that we don't recognize. We all have these gifts, and I feel like there's just a gift that's waiting to get unlocked. And so, anyway, I've asked the angels to help me with that.
Wow.
And now I'm verbalizing in the group, and I know that has a lot of power.
Do you want to know what I feel?
Yes, of course I do. I do.
So the first thing I remembered was when I was trying to get to work and I couldn't find my way on the freeway. After you going there for a year and a half,
Yeah.
I was lost. I couldn't
Yeah.
find my turn. I was like, where am I? How do I get to work? Where do I work? What do I do? And so that was the feeling that I was having of when your energy is supposed to be over here
Yeah.
and you don't take that step, then it goes anyway. And you're like, what? Like it made it there before you because you're dragging your heels or something. It's not quite like that, but it's a little bit like that where so and the other thing for you is just it doesn't mean you have to quit your job necessarily, but um I feel like you you know you can't just keep, well, I say that about all of us, you know let's just drop the whole excuse of imposter syndrome. That's just a blah, blah, blah in the head. You
Mhm.
have a lot of training and you have a lot of gifts and you have a lot of life experience. And what if consciousness and your inner higher self is like, about all this. You did that. You get the 3D. Uh, it needs you to take your steps because you're part of an orchestration.
Mhm.
And if you don't do your part, you're forgiven, of course, but part of you is going to be so bummed because it was so set up for you, you know, and all the other ones that you're going to touch, they have to get rerouted. It's like this massive, what do they call it? The air traffic control. Well, now these flights all have to get rearranged and time and space has to get collapsed over here and that's. It's never, anything we're judged for, but the joy and the happiness is going to come from being totally into your trajectory. So that was my immediate impression when you couldn't see you at work.
Yeah.
No, you don't have eye problems. You don't have any problems. It's like, just say yes. Just do it. That was the feeling. Because
Yeah.
then I went right to my office after I figured it out on the freeway and wrote my resignation letter. Not that you have to do that,
Yeah.
but I immediately did it. And it set a whole course of things into action. And there's so many things that I couldn't have known. But as soon as I did that, it went boom, 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 boom. And I wouldn't be here if I hadn't done that.
So true. Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
Oh, I'm excited. Yep, I'm excited for what's next. As I know it's coming, and I've asked, and
Well, look at who's asking you for help, or, it's probably already here and you're just maybe talking yourself out of it. Like, what could you do now? Because I think a lot of times we're waiting for the burning bush and it never happens like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, you know, what was a thought and you said, oh, nah, you know,
Yeah,
and later.
that's a
So
very good tip. Very, very good tip. Yeah.
a lot of times people feel like they're lost in their lives, and I'll say, well, what was the step you were given that you didn't take? Go back to that one.
Yeah.
And sometime I'd like you to talk on conscious uncoupling, something like that, because
Oh,
you spend
sure.
so much time into that world too. And I bet it has a lot of things for us all that aren't just about, you know, official divorce, but any kind of relationship
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
conflict,
it can be a divorce from anything,
right? Any
a
kind of,
job, a way of life,
right.
a thought. Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Maybe you'll be a speaker.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah. All right. I'll quit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Well, George, anything that you want to share?
Yeah, I'd like to share the farm thing turned out fine. We're going back on Monday, or going back Sunday to paint.
Oh, yes.
That went well. I don't know how it was. Yeah, Reiki. Reiki does no harm, and Reiki um, Reiki is the best tattletale on the planet. Yeah, because it tells people things that you might not want people to know. But I didn't know until I got there that I strained a muscle loading the truck on my left side of where my kidneys are at, which was kind of funny because it was about something in my lower back. It was about the big block of cement. So the first thing came to my mind is watch out for cinder blocks because I know from living in Arizona, snakes like to be in them because it keeps them warm, right? In the middle of the desert, it always gets cold at night. It'll drop. If it's 90, it's going to be 65, 60 degrees at night. It's just the desert. Um, but also there was it went really well. Um, Reiki taught me a bunch of stuff um, about responding and reacting instead of just letting the energy deal with it. And boy, that was like putting warm butter on a piece of dry bread. It just was so nice, right? Just
Oh,
smooth. It was a lot of work. I mean, I was probably crying at the end just from pain. But sometimes pain comes when we help somebody, and we just have to say it's there, and don't allow it to overcome you. It's just pain. It will go away. It's just there. Our body minds make it worse than it really can be. Um, Considering, I would love to speak about chronic pain. I've dealt with it since I was 26 years old. I'm going on 63 in November. Um, yeah, that's just my body's age. I definitely don't feel 63. Um, Even after all that work, it was there was I was like at the end, it's like Julie, I'm done. I can't even lift my arms anymore. Um, Rolling a building that hasn't been treated, like the wood should have been treated years ago, and the people that bought it never did. So it was like filling in these massive cracks with paint because if not, dirt will get in there and that dirt will make it drier. So it was a lot of work. We have to finish, which will be fun, you know. Long as I let Reiki be in control instead of George or the EMI, I just make him take the back seat of the bus. Um, I'm thankful that my guides let me know that I'm getting ready to screw up by opening my mouth. So I keep my mouth shut and be still. to know that I am God. I am Reiki. I always say, be still and know that I am Reiki, right? Yeah, Reiki's just done some amazing things in my life. And I'm looking forward to the future. And I do learn one thing, that doubt is like putting a roadblock in your destiny.
Ooh.
So when you start to doubt, you put everything in, it's like hitting the brakes on an 18-wheeler. It just stops. Now you have to get your momentum back. Doubt, if the thought comes, just let it go out. Acknowledge, yeah, I acknowledge I'm used to be that way, but I'm not that way no more, because I know it stopped me from doing a lot of things that I'm doing now, which I could have done 40 years ago, but my belief system was different then. So I'm thankful for my family. They do good for me.
Oh, well, George, so good to hear. Wow, it just really feels powerful how it's operating in your life. And I love what you said, where instead of reacting, responding, and that's a deep teaching for all of us. No matter how much I know, I'm still learning that one, you know. And so thank you, thank you. We did send you Reiki during class, and we were tuning in. And gosh, I wrote notes. I'll send them to you later. I forgot because I was writing them, and then we had to go on to the next thing of the class. So I'll go back to my notes and share anything that I wrote down for you.
Yeah, so what I picked up, well, I think you did share some things and you wrote something later too.
Oh, maybe I did
So
send.
I
Okay.
think you did it in private WhatsApp.
Yes,
I
okay, I
think you
did.
did.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So I saw it after the fact and went, wow. Yeah, it was just like, I just knew it was Reiki. I just knew it was Reiki.
Oh,
So
good. Did it resonate?
yeah, oh yeah. I felt it from the moment you said that said send the picture and blah blah. I just knew from that moment I would be fine. Um, Even to the point where I was so trying to get everything put in the truck, and I got everything packed, and I always do my toiletry bag last. And guess what? I forgot. So I had to drive all the way back from Susanville after painting all day. I decided to stay home instead of driving back to Susanville for the next morning. Um, but I learned a big lesson then, that I need to slow down, no matter how rushed I feel.
Oh,
Stop, breathe, and you won't forget anything. So, but I thought I had ego. I thought I had everything. I was missing really important stuff. So I had to spend 3 hours driving back, another hour and a half the next day. So yeah, that's Jesus, 9 hours for getting one thing. So Reiki taught me, just stop and breathe and do what you do a mental check, and don't rush, because it's just going to make you work harder. So,
wow. That's so beautiful. I hope you also forgave yourself.
I was, at first I was pretty ticked. I was like, yeah. And I go, no, I am not dumb. I'm a genius,
No.
and I can do anything. And I can even drive all the way there and back anytime I want. So, yeah, that's how I
And
dealt with it.
and what if this is just what came and how my mind might also feel if something happened to me like that? What if there was a gift in the drive, considering all that you had gone through during the day? In the car, uh, and staying home by yourself at night, just the time that you had to process, and how that might have been a perfect orchestration, that actually nothing went wrong and it was needed as recuperation time, and kind of doing a huddle with the spirit during the game.
Exactly what I thought. exactly.
Good. That's how I always see those things, like, oh, nothing went wrong, you know? And then you watch how those mistakes get flipped into miracles, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thank you. I needed that. Yeah. Thomas and I, that's we're very quick to do that. We're very good at that together because we've done it many, many times.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Super sweet of you to share and yeah, just the power of Reiki in your life is really, really wonderful to to have you share with us. Let's take a break and then let's see. I mean, I'm gonna assume that Trisha doesn't want to share because she's not feeling so good. But Trisha, if there is anything, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good at all.
Okay. Well then,
So my
no.
head really hurts right now. So
Okay. Well, let's take a short break, and when we come back, maybe we'll do. I'm just debating. We could do healing one on multiples on one, and starting with Trisha, and see how that goes, and then go around the room. Oh, there you got your friend. I forget. Chi Chi, is that
Yeah. QI.
QI
Chi
QI?
Chi.
Okay. Okay, so take a break and I'll be back soon. Maybe 5 minutes, whatever you need. So I had a thought. Instead of doing Reiki for each of the group, what if we do a Reiki experience, but what I'm feeling is to go off script and to which actually is permitted. Once you have taken the master class, you get the ability to facilitate Reiki experiences. And when I was taking classes from Colleen Benelli, the question came up about what if you would like to facilitate something and you don't feel like there's any of the experiences in the manual that really target what you want to facilitate or what you want to heal. And she said, oh, you can create your own. And they're really like meditations. I think that my mind has had to soften a lot around some of these things. And so they're like meditations, but inviting in the Reiki energy. And there is some imagery that is part of the animal Reiki class that is really useful because she actually developed the class with a group of her women friends and colleagues. And she has a 35-year history of shamanism that she studied all around the world with indigenous people. And so anyway, there are techniques that she incorporates into her Reiki practice that would be more like shamanic journeys using Reiki. And so I have this thought today for a Reiki experience that is based out of our conversation today. So, and we can just see how, okay, I got a thumbs up. And also, I know there are others that aren't here, and I know some of what they're maybe working on or sort of what's coming up for them. And so it might be useful for all of us and also for the collective, really. So if that sounds like a good plan, then let's just do it. And then we'll see how much time we have and we'll see if there's anything else to be done after that. All right. So I got some claps, so that's good. Thumbs up, claps, and I'm going to just turn my camera off. I'm not going to put music on. I'm going to keep it simple. You can do whatever you feel to get comfortable. So when you're ready, I want you to just be comfortable. And I want you to put your hands somewhere on your body and just let the Reiki flow. And you can invite in all the symbols that you have. They're kind of like friends, Reiki friends. They each have their gifts for us. When you breathe in, imagine you're breathing in Reiki energy. Let it flow through you and release you. And when you feel quite full of this Reiki energy, I'd like you to share it with the earth, with Gaia. Send it down into the earth from your tailbone or your feet or wherever feels comfortable. And then let the earth respond to you with grounding energy. Just feel that, how it kind of anchors you deeper into your body. At the same time, this Reiki energy is lightening you. This is a very stable, energetic position. And now I'd like you to focus on your heart and open up your heart as wide as you can or feel to. It actually resonates very well with what we're doing, this grounded and inspired, energetic state of peace. The heart feels at home in this energy that you're allowing. You actually might not even need to open it. It might just open on its own because this is home for the heart. And imagine the heart also has a frequency that it can amplify inside of your energy field. You might see it as the brilliant green energy or some other color or just a frequency, a sense of peace maybe, a sense of brotherly peace for all life and all wisdom. And you can wear this heart frequency like a mantle around you. It's your signature. It's how people, knowingly or otherwise, they might just intuit you to be a safe, kind place or space. And you can also now tune into your kind of your solar plexus and sacral belly button area. Let those open and receive the blessings of the heart and of the grounded energy and the Reiki energy. There's an important wisdom that these lower chakras provide as they heal. They provide very important wisdom for us navigating this life. As they heal, they're actually aligning with the heart and with the higher Reiki love frequencies. You could think of these as maybe your instincts, your creative centers, your place where you dream, where you share in a unique way, feel, and pivot. So they, have a lot of instinctual energy that can be driven by fear or it can be driven by love. And so this, when your gut, as we say, and your heart and your third eye are aligned with this Reiki energy, you feel whole and safe, certain, creative. So let's also open the third eye. Let that heart energy and the Reiki and the grounding energy flood into the third eye. There's also a column of energy that connects all of our power centers, all of our chakras. And you can imagine just opening that tube of energy inside of you, the connector, just open that up wide and let Reiki flush it out and let this heart wisdom pour into it. Let all the other wisdom centers pour into it. And now I would like you to imagine a beautiful bridge of light. You can imagine Honsha and flattening it out, perhaps, and becoming this connector in consciousness to another realm inside of you, this beautiful bridge of light. And you can cross over this bridge into another dimension of consciousness, a higher dimension. You can see the river of life is flowing in front of you. And remember, the waters of the river of life come from the very highest heavens. They're crystal clear and very pure, always flowing. And you can take a little path that runs along the river of life and just walk this path. Maybe there are animals and trees, flowers. Maybe there's other beings, friends and teachers and angels. Up ahead, there's a beautiful lagoon, you could call it. There's a beautiful waterfall that fills and replenishes this lagoon. So it's part of the river that has made a waterfall and pools in this area before it flows on again. And it's beautiful here. And there's something very magical about this place. It's a purification waterfall. And it's similar to holy fire in that it purifies us. Of everything, all the residues from past, things inherited, things picked up that don't serve us, old patterns, old beliefs about ourselves and others, old ways that we get hooked into the hologram of reality that's not really the high truth, that's a projection. And this waterfall of transformation rinses us of these energies that are no longer serving us and helpful. So, as you're willing and interested and listening to the call of your higher self, go ahead and get into the lagoon, feel the healing waters of the river of life. To the degree that feels correct for you, go stand underneath the gentle waters of the waterfall and allow yourself to be relieved of anything in the past that no longer serves. Things about your culture, things about the way you were raised, things about your country, about your time that you're in, about your gender, about your past lives, about even future lives that are just more of the past. Let yourself let them go. Like a clean slate, you become. You may feel like you're just these eyes now without a history. Who am I? But that's okay. That's a very high place to be. Just a beholder, the witness, the love extending. In fact, you may feel like you're more of a verb than a noun at the end of this purification. Is there a place where I start and stop, or am I just love in action, a flow, just like the river of life? I am the river of life. I am Reiki. And if you notice around you, there are helpful guides and angels and all the master teachers that have already had this experience, extending their hands and their reassurance and their joy. This type of liberation is what you've been waiting for, this freedom. And you might even already begin to feel inside of you potentials that have been wanting to be born. And you know that you're clearing the way, the field is being purified of all the rocks and weeds so that you have fertile soil inside of you for this potential that wants to come through you. And you are the technology for this creative unfoldment. You are the awakening. And this is what all of us say yes to, for this awakening to happen. In a way, you can say, we've been puzzling our own piece out in our lives to make it easier for the next ones to come through this part of the process. Isn't that a beautiful idea, that it was never personal? And as we're rinsing, we can also feel a sense of satisfaction of a job well done. We are in service. And each of you is honored by the angels and the teachers, and you're considered very, very holy and valuable because of who you are and the job that you took on in service of yourself, which is everyone. It was always impersonal. And they beckon us to keep going. More is here to unfold inside of us that can't come from past. And each of us have seeds inside of us that were planted before we were born. And now we're creating, allowing the purification to happen, of where these seeds can finally begin to sprout inside of us and take shape and bear fruits, because this is the next phase. And it's time to be giving ourselves full permission to live abundantly and joyfully and creatively without any concern for what the world thinks. Is what we know about thinking is it's a tape, and it comes out of a projection, and it's irrelevant to God, which is who you are, who I am. It's just a little static noise on the line. Yet we are part of a beautiful symphony. So we're tuning the radio so that we actually hear and become the beautiful music. And when you feel complete for now in this shower of purification, you can find the shore again, find the land, find the path, and continue walking down the path. And off in the near distance, there's this beautiful pasture, a pasture with soft green grass, flowers, and sunshine with just the right temperature. And there's a little tree that makes an inviting place to lay down in the shade, in the soft grass, in the pasture. And as you sink deeply into yourself after this lovely purification process and deeply rest, you can almost feel like you are what is blooming in this pasture. You have been one of the seeds planted by the Creator. And there is an intelligence in every seed. There's a complete map, a complete design in every seed. An apple seed will never turn into an oak tree. A tomato seed will never turn into a plum. An apple seed doesn't need to worry about how to become an apple tree and future apple fruit. Each of us are perfect seeds that have been planted. And what happens in a seed's journey to becoming a tree and then more fruit? They get planted in fertile soil. They lay dormant. They are watered, and the sun and the water and the soil tear down the seed somehow. And so we've all been in that process of being removed, the wall around us being removed so that the plan of the seed inside can bloom, can plant and bloom and grow and prosper and bear fruit. And so now it's time to begin to reach up through the dirt, through the soil, into the sunlight, and begin to express as this beautiful creation that you are, this very unique creation that you are. And imagine that happening now in your life, in your being, in your heart, in your mind, in your gut, all aligned with the great light, the great sun, growing roots deep into the earth, but feeling very free and joyful and happy to spread your branches and your leaves and your fruit in just your own way. And knowing that you are completely perfect, that you did not create yourself, but you are a perfect creation by your Creator. You are one with your Creator and yet blooming as a distinct aspect of your Creator. And as you're growing and becoming mature and fruitful, and you look around and see all the other creation around you, there's no comparing. There's just a joyful witnessing of all the beautiful ways that you show up, that your Creator shows up, that you are one of many, and that you play a very particular part that you are happy to play. And you know that through your dreams, through your feelings, through what resonates, through the things that make you happy, the things that make you joyful, the things that ignite you and activate you. This is the process we're in. This applies in our time. And that's what time is good for. And this is a quantum education that we can only get to by being as full, full of as fully blooming expressions of our seated wisdom, our seated design. In other words, each is his or her own path. And isn't that beautiful to rest in the knowing that you can't get it wrong? You can just throttle it back under some illusion that someone out there might have an opinion. And those days are so far in the past now where we had to worry about that. That's an old paradigm of control that is coming to an end. We're bringing in the new paradigm. This is a liberation and a celebration. And notice all the fruits around you that are coming from your life. And maybe they're showing up already in your 3D, and maybe they are in your energetic field as dreams and inspiring ideas. They're all valid. And take some joy noticing they're here already in some form. How joy and laughter and healing and love would like to express through you. Creativity and beauty. Notice. It's regenerative, and bodies regenerate in this energy of creation. Notice. Notice how there's no more idea of work in the old way of burden, that it's all play. Notice this regenerative energy can only play and share, love in an impersonal way with no attachment and no control, no condemnation, no judgment, just blessings. You can come anytime to the field. It's the field of the new paradigm, of the fifth dimension, of the awakening. It's many other words, whatever ones work for you. This field of blossoming into your true spirit. You can come anytime to the waterfall of purification. Truly, this is a time for us all to forgive the hologram, of reality. Forgive what shows up in the day. Just release it. Just release it. Say, I created this with a part of my mind that was confused, that believed I was separate. And now I'm accepting I could never create myself. And so this 3D projected world is not my home. And yet I can play and rejoice and awaken while I'm here. I can be in this world, but not of this world, this projection. I can be in my home, in this love and peace and joy and happiness. I can root in this and see with new eyes what is not true, with no judgment at all. Why would I need to judge what's not true? I wouldn't. I would just smile and know that everyone is on their own path to knowing what I am now willing to know deeper, and see that part in them behind the fortress, that deep and beautiful heart that they are. And that green in my heart, that love frequency in my heart, recognizing the love frequency in their heart behind the fortress, melts the illusion right in front of me. It's like the mirage in the desert, just disappearing. And all is left is the truth of our love, our oneness, our Creator. And if there is such a thing as salvation, this is it. And everything that got us here, only the healing and the joy and the love should we take forward. Everything else was a means to this end. And like the stage at the end of a Broadway show, all the props get torn down. They were never real. All the costumes get put back in the closets. They were not true. They were just dressing to make an appearance, so they can be gratefully put away, forgotten, so that I can remember the truth. I can't remember the past, the false, and the truth and present. And so I make a choice now, complete choice, just the truth, the beautiful hearts that wore all the different costumes to get me where I am right now, and all the gratitude I can feel for them. All the gratitude I can feel for the settings that we made somehow to play out certain things. And oh, the gratitude I have that they were not real. that I am real. The love is real, the truth is real. And the heart in everyone is real. And you take of what this sharing offers in a way that resonates, and you release anything that doesn't. This is a path of freedom and discernment. You make it your own. When you're ready, you can find the path again. Take your time to come out of the pasture, to walk back towards the waterfall and then past the waterfall and lagoon, down the path that follows the river of life. And then eventually you find the bridge of light again. And you see all the brilliant figures around you, the helpers and teachers and wisdom keepers and angels. And they give you so much love and encouragement and support. And yes, they're having a celebration in your name. And you can come back and party with them anytime. And when you're ready, you can cross the bridge. And you know that there's a bridge in your mind forever. That opens you to this world of quantum healing and education. It's just a few moments to be in that space anytime you choose. And coming back all the way across the bridge into your body where you are, feeling changed, feeling anchored into your reality in a new way. With an anticipation of how the changes will unfold in your life. Knowing that your only role is to be open, to listen, to follow. To love peace more than anything else. When you're ready, you can bring your awareness to your eyes and you can slowly open your eyes and come back. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, now I can't see.
I feel like I can see better. I put my hands over my eyes like this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. I feel kind of dizzy.
I was just looking out my window. You know, I've got those two great trees in my backyard, and there is a squirrel that's just waving its little tail just back and forth. It's so cute. Oh,
Oh, that's so funny.
oh, and oh, he's just crawling all over the place and got his tail going.
I have a squirrel story from this week.
Yeah, let's
So,
hear it.
so I've shared Cynthia Sue Larson with some of you.
Uh-huh.
She's also been somebody on YouTube, and she's written a bunch of books. And she was one of the speakers that I saw at the conference, and she's the one who talks about the Mandela effect. She has a website, Reality Shifters. And anyway, I had a session with her. Okay, Trisha, see you later. I hope you feel better soon.
Hi,
Um,
Tricia.
I had a session with her this week, actually, and she was telling me about she was trying to make a YouTube one day about something that she felt was very important. And she wasn't able to get it out. She worked and worked, and she's really tenacious. And her guides were like, "Nope, you can't do that. You can't say that," you know. And she's like, "Ah, I really wanted to do it." And she said, "I got so frustrated." And she was in her backyard, and there was this squirrel, and she said he was like not he was unbelievable. He was just like doing all these antics and like swinging and trying, like smiling at her in a way and like wiggling its tail. And like she tried to even turn the camera to take a video of the squirrel because it was so clearly, you know, just for her, this like lighten up kind of joy that was coming out of the squirrel. And she couldn't even take a film video of it. It was like, no, it was just not going to happen. The technology wasn't working and everything else. But anyway, I love that you got the squirrel because she got the squirrel too. It was like the spirit going, lighten up,
Shake your tail.
take your tail. Go wacky if you want, because there's nothing serious happening here. Yeah, I had a really great talk with her for an hour and a half. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
She
yeah.
seems amazing.
What was that?
She seems amazing. I watched a couple YouTubes.
Yeah, she is.
Mentioned her name.
She's also being interviewed on the 22nd by Pam Gregory. So we'll have to
Oh,
look forward to that. That's the astrologer that I love so much that I share, and who also does all the David Clements videos. So um, so anyway, I hope that was I hope everyone got a good experience, and um, maybe it will also unfold in us over time. I felt like there was a lot of energy today.
Hmm,
for sure.
I
Yeah.
agree. Or should I say, I allow.
Yeah, go forward and be your true self with no limits, no caveats, no concerns, no doubt. Be the fruit that you are.
Mhm.
We're all nuts and fruits. Isn't that in my big fat Greek wedding?
Yes. Oh, it's perfect. Thank you, Laura.
Well, thank you guys. I feel pretty complete. How about you guys?
Yeah, feel really good and relaxed. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. Well, I will see you in a couple weeks if I don't see you before then.
Sounds great.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right,
Great to
bye-bye.
see y'all. Thank you.
Bye.